भगवते वासुदेवाय। ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरये। नष्टप्रायेषु भद्रेषु नित्यं भागवतसेवया भगवती उत्तमा श्लोके भक्तिर्भवती नैष्टिकी। ॐ ज्ञानातिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरुवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपा कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकं। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरौ श्रीयुतपदकमलं श्रीगुरून् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगण रघुनाथं वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधाकृष्णपादान् सहगण ललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च। हे कृष्णा करुणा सिन्धो दीनबन्धो जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिकान्त राधाकान्त नमस्तुते। तप्तकाञ्चना गौराङ्गी राधे वृन्दावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये। वाञ्छकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। नमो विष्णुपदाय पृष्ठभूतले प्रभुपादति प्रिय श्री गिरिराजाय स्वामी सुभक्तराधारास्पिहार्यं भक्तवेदांतदायिने। नमो विष्णुपदाय पृष्ठभूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदांत स्वामी नामे। नमस्ते सारस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य मुखं करोति वाचालं पंगुं लंघयति गिरिं यत्कृपा तमहं वन्दे श्रीगुरुदीनतारिणम्। All right, so we are reading Shrimad Bhagavatam, Canto 5, text 22, the orbits of the planets. So all these grahas, so this is what we are reading about. Okay, so now we're in text 7. 7, is it?
Yeah.
अथा च यावन्नभूमण्डलं सह द्यौर्वा पृथिव्योर्मण्डलाभ्यां कर्ष्णेन सह भुञ्जिता तं कालं संवत्सरं परिवत्सरम् इदावत्सरम् अनुवत्सरं vatsaram iti bhanurmandya sagriya samagatibhi samamananti. The sun god has 3 speeds. So now we know to get to know about speed of the sun, right? Slow, fast, and moderate. The time he takes to travel entirely around the spheres of heaven, earth, and space are these 3 speeds is referred to by learned scholars by the 5 names: Samvatsara, Parivatsara, Idavatsara, Anuvatsara, and Vatsara. Now these astronomers, those who study astronomy, they will know about all this, they measure all this anyway for us. According to solar astronomical calculations, each year extends 6 days. Okay, that's why we have all this calendar, right? Purushottam Mass, I don't know which Mass again. Each year extends 6 days beyond the calendar year. And according to lunar calculations, each year is 6 days shorter. Therefore, because of the movements of the sun and moon, there is a difference of 12 days between the solar and lunar years. Ada Samvatsara, Parivatsara, Idavatsara, Anuvatsara, and Vatsara pass by. 2 extra months are added within each 5 years. This makes a 6th Samvatsara, but because that Samvatsara is extra, the solar system is calculated according to the above 5 names. I can't make head or tail of this.
Okay, Madhuri, one thing. Isn't it Om Bhu Bhuva? Bhu is
Yeah.
Bhuva is outer space.
No, Antariksh is outer space. Bhuvar is above. Bhuvar is above Antariksh. It will come. Evam Chandrama Arka Gabhasthitya Uparishta Laksha Yojanata Upalabhyamano Kashaya Samvatsara Bhuktim Pakshabhyam Masa Bhuktim Sapadarakṣabhyam Dinenaiva Paksha Bhuktim Agrachari Dhrutatara Gamano Bhukte. Above the rays of the sunshine, by a distance of 100,000 yojanas, 800,000 miles is the moon, okay? So here, so there is the sun. Now it's saying that 100,000 yojanas above is the moon, which travels at a speed faster than that of the sun. So the moon is going very fast, right? The sun takes 1 month to cover one constellation, whereas the moon is moving at the speed of, 2.5 days. It keeps on moving. The moon. Yeah, I think. Yeah, in 2 lunar fortnights. Yeah, the moon travels through the equivalent of a samvatsara of the sun. In 2.25 days, it passes through a month. Yeah, that's what I was saying. A month of the sun. And in 1 day, it passes through the fortnight of the sun. Let's see. Upalabhyamana being situated. Arkasya of the sun group. Samvatsara Bhuktim. Samvatsara Bhuktim. The passage of 1 year of enjoyment. So it's supposed to be, when we live our life, it's supposed to be enjoying, I think. Pakshabhyam. Oh, so Shukla Paksh. And what's that? Krishna Paksh. So 2 fortnights. Masa Bhuktim. The passage of 1 month. Sapada Rikshabhyam. By 2.25 quarter days. Dinena, by a day eva only. Paksha bhuktim, the passage of a fortnight. Agrachari, moving impetuously. Druta tara gamana, passing most speedily. Bhunkte, passes through. Oh my God, this is all astronomy. When we take into account that the moon is 100,000 yojanas or 800,000 miles above the rays of the sunshine, it is very surprising that the modern excursions to the moon could be possible. Since the moon is so distant, how space vehicles could go there is a doubtful mystery. So that's why Prabhupada said they didn't go to the moon according to this measurement. Modern scientific calculations are subject to one change after another. So today they say one thing, next day they say, no, it's not like this. And therefore they're uncertain. We have to accept the calculations of the Vedic literature. These Vedic calculations are steady. The astronomical calculations made long ago and recorded in the Vedic literature are correct even now. Whether the Vedic calculations or modern ones are better may remain a mystery for others. But as far as we are concerned, we accept the Vedic calculations to be correct. Text 9. Atha cha puriyamanabhischa kalabhir amaranam kshiyamanabhischa kalabhi pitrinam ahoratrani purvapaksha para pakshabhya vittanvanaha sarvagyi jiva nivaha prano jivaschekam ekam nakshatram trimshatta muhurter bhunkte. Atha, thus cha also apuriyamana bhihi, gradually increasing cha, and kalabhi, by the parts of the moon, amaranam, of the demigod, kshiyamanabhi, by gradually decreasing, kalabhi, by parts of them, pitrinam. So this is planet Pitrilok. Aharatrani, the days and night. Purva paksha apara pakshabhyam, by the period waxing and waning, vittan vanaha, distribute sarva jiva nivaha, of the total living entity, prana, the life, jiva, the chief living being. Ekam, one after another. Nakshatram, a constellation of stars. Trimshata, by 30. Muhurta, bhunkte, passes through. Bhunkte, just see this word bhukti, bhunkte, right? Meaning that we have come in this world for enjoyment. So the passage of time supposed to allow us to enjoy this material world. When the moon is waxing, the illuminating portions of it increase daily, thus creating day for the demigods and night for the pitas. Somebody, Mamta Mai had shown that image. When the moon is waxing, meaning becoming brighter and brighter, so it's creating day for the demigods. So this will take 15 days, right? So then it is daytime for the demigods. And then it becomes night for the pitas. So Pitrilok, we're going to find that Pitrilok is down. I think after Patalok. Pitrilok is down.
The moon was still there?
Sorry?
Moon was still there?
No. So that's why when it's waning, when the moon is waning, so meaning it's dark, right? We will read. No, down in the subterranean planets, the sun doesn't go there. Doesn't go there. So when the moon is waxing, so it is creating day for the demigods and night for the pitas. When the moon is waning, however, it causes night for the devas and day for the pitters. So they become stronger. So during the waning moon, so the pitris become stronger and the devas become weaker. In this way, the moon passes through each constellation of stars in 30 muhurta, an entire day. The moon is the source of nectarine coolness that influences the growth of food grains, and therefore the moon god is considered the life of all living entities. So the moon is feeding all of us. He is consequently called Jeev, the chief living being within the universe. We also read earlier that this moon is actually the mind, right? So all of us, we are see from the constellation, right? From the constellation, you can understand the mind of a person and what type of conditioning that soul has undergone by studying the nakshatra, where the moon is, because that's the mind. And then we are being fed, we are being fed. See, everybody is not having same power of digestion, right? Pitta, Deva, right, and in between. So how the moon is feeding what your body structure is being decided by how much you're able to absorb the food grains, right? And this is the moon that is allowing you, okay, Bhima Vrikodara, and then this insect, or this, like this, the fire of digestion. The moon is, how much you can, fire digestion, that is this sun. But moon is giving you, feeding you your amount of food, and which is all complicated. Can't figure all that out. Let's read it again. It says, where that food can come in? Where is that food? The moon is the source of nectarine. Oh, okay. Vittan vana sarva jiva nivaha prano jivaschaiva ekam. So distributing sarva. Okay. Vittan vanaha, distributing sarva jiva nivaha, of the total living entities, pranaha, the life, jiva, the chief living being. But Prabhupada is expanding on this. The moon is the source of nectarine coolness that influences the growth of food grains, and therefore the moon god is considered the life of all living entities. He is consequently called Jeev, the chief living being within the universe. So Prabhupada has put the purport in the translation. Otherwise we can't figure that out, right? Text 10. Saesha Shodasha Kala Purusho Bhagavan Manomayo Namayo Mritamayo Deva Pitri Manusya Bhuta Pashu Pakshi Sharishripa Virudham Pranapya Yana Shilatvat Sarvamaiti Varna Yanti. Because the moon is full of all potentialities, it represents the influence of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. The moon is the predominating deity of everyone's mind, and therefore the moon god is called Manomai. So because the moon is full of all potentiality, it represents the influence of the Supreme Person Godhead. What is this potentiality? Meaning that all potencies. The moon is the predominating deity of, here it is. The moon is the predominating deity of everyone's mind. And therefore, the moon god is called Manomai. Right? That's what we were saying. The moon god is called Manomai. He's also called Anamai. Oh, so Prabhupada has, from here, Prabhupada has given the translation of the previous verse. He's also called Anamai because he gives potency to all herbs and plants. And he's called Amritamai because he's the source of life for all living entities. The moon pleases the demigods, pittas, human beings, animals, birds, reptiles, trees, plants, and all other living entities. Everyone is satisfied by the presence of the moon. Therefore, the moon is also called Sarvamai, all pervading, meaning that whether an animal, whether demigods, whether pitta, whether human being, animal, birds, reptiles, trees, plants, everybody's got a mind. All right? It means that all living being has a mind. Right? You see this dog, you don't know what the dog will do next, right? Like even you see one small, those centipede, those crawling stuff, you don't know where it will go. Right?
Mind is there with their voice.
Yeah. So everybody's got a mind. So he's called Sarvamai. Oh my God. Can you imagine a mind that's not directed by intelligence? Right? A mind that doesn't want to be directed by intelligence. That's how every parent struggles with the children, right? Intelligence is one thing, right? It's, if they're good parents, it's based on experience, it is based on Shastra. And a child wants to play. A child wants to enjoy. This Jeev has come in this material world to play and enjoy. Right? So as soon as he gets his hands and legs moving and firm, right? Immediately that mind is going, like forward to capture and enjoy. Right? Then you have to put the parent, you have to put the teacher, you have to put Shiksha Guru, Diksha Guru, everybody has to come, to capture that mind. Text 11. Tata aparishta dvilaksha yojanata nakshatrani merum lakshineneva kalayana ishvara yojitani sahabhijitasta vimshatihi. There are many stars located 200,000 yojanas above the moon. By the supreme will of the Supreme Person Godhead, they are fixed to the wheel of time, this Kala Chakra, right? Wheel of time. And thus they rotate with Mount Sumeru on their right, their motion being different from that of the sun. There are 28 important stars headed by Abhijit. The stars referred to herein are 1,600,000 miles above the sun, and thus there are 4,000,000 miles above the earth. So these are the nakshatras, right? 28 nakshatras. So anyway, we should look at all these. They make models, no? So many stars. Okay, so they're fixed. So the fixed stars is what they are saying, the nakshatras. So they are fixed stars, and what's that? I can't understand. They're fixed to the wheel of time, and they rotate. I can't understand this. They're fixed to the wheel of time. Maybe it's like a clock, right? So the fixed stars So I guess it's like this. Then the hand is moving, right? The hand is moving, like 3 hands are there: the hour, the minute, and the second. But here there's going to be 9, right? 9 planets are there, right? So they are rotating. And thus they rotate with Mount Sumeru on their right. Anyway, I'm not going to study all this. Their motion being different from that of the sun. Their motion being different from that of the sun. So there's the rising, so there's the sun. So they say when you're born, right? They say when you're born, which nakshatra is visible, no? Which is crossing the sun, right? They call this. Which nakshatra is crossing the sun, part of the sun. Anyway, we are not astronomers. Text 12. Tata uparishtad ushana dvilakša yojanata upalabhyate purata paschat sahaiva varkasya shaigriya manya samadbhir gatibhir arkavachcharati lokanam nityadhanukula eva prayena varshayams charenamumiyate sa Vrishti Vishtambha Grahopashamanah Tattaha. You read?
Hare Krishna, translation by Divine Grace, Srila Prabhupada. Some every word meaning. Okay. Tata, from the bunch of stars, Uparshitat, above, Ushana, Venus, Dvilaksha, Yojantat, 200,000 yojanas, that is 1600,000 miles. Uplabhyate is experienced, Purata in front, Paschat behind, Saha along with, Eva indeed, Va and Arakshaya of the sun, Segraya speedy, Mandya slow, Samsyabhi equal, Gatibhi the movements, Arkatavat exactly like the sun, Charati rotates, Lokanam of all the planets within the universe, Nityada constantly, Anukula offering favorable condition, Eva indeed, Prayana almost always, Varshayam causing rainfall, Charena by infusing the clouds, Anumiyate is perceived, Sa he Venus, Vristi Vistambha obstacles to rainfall, Graha Upasamana nullifying planets. Translation by Divine Grace Prabhupada. Some 1600,000 miles above this group of stars, the planet Venus, which moves at almost exactly the same pace as the sun according to swift, slow, and moderate movements. Sometimes Venus behind the sun, sometimes in front of the sun, and sometimes along with it. Venus nullifies the influence of planets that are obstacles to rainfall. Consequently, its presence causes rainfall, and it is therefore considered very favorable for all living beings within this universe. This has been accepted by learned scholars.
Text 13. Ushanasa buddho vyakyatas tatta uparishta dvilaksha yojanato buddha soma sutta upalabhyamana prayena shubhakrit yadarkad vyatiricheta tadati vatabhra prayana vrishyadi bhayam asamsate. Mercury is described to be similar to Venus in that it moves sometimes behind the sun, sometimes in front of the sun, and sometimes along with it. It is 1,600,000 miles above Venus or 7,200,000 miles above Earth. Mercury, which is the son of moon, is almost always very auspicious for the inhabitants of the universe. But when it does not move along with the sun, it forebodes cyclones, dust, irregular rainfall, and waterless clouds. In this way, it creates fearful conditions due to inadequate or excessive rainfall. Now we know, all right? Now we know when there is too much rain, this is due to irregular. No, Mercury.
Mercury.
Yeah, irregular movement of Mercury. So what does it do? So when it is when it is moving, when it moves along with the sun, it's auspicious. And when it doesn't move along with the sun, then it goes creates cycle. Did you have imagine that Mercury was behind all the cyclones, dust, irregular rainfall, and waterless clouds, and gives excessive rainfall. So everybody should look up in the sky, right? Whenever they see calamities like this. Now let's look at about fire. My God. So now we know it's Mercury. So when there is adequate rain, pleasant. So this is Venus. Yeah. When it is up and down, it is Mercury, Buddh. My God. Ata urdhvam अंगराकोऽपि योजनलक्षद्वितया उपलाभ्यमानस् त्रिभिस्थिरिभिः पक्षैरेकैकशो राशीन् द्वादशानु भुङ्क्ते यदि न वक्रेणाभिवर्तते प्रयेण शुभग्रहो घ्ना शंसः. Situated 1,600,000 miles above Mercury, or 8,800,000 miles above Earth, is the planet Mars. See, Prabhupada is saying that we are accepting the calculation of the Vedas, right? Because the modern scientists say they have gone to the sun, to the moon. Prabhupada is impossible because moon is higher than the sun. If this planet does not travel in a crooked way, meaning Vakri, it's not Vakrena, it's not Vakri. If this planet doesn't travel in a crooked way, it crosses through each sign of the zodiac in 3 fortnights. And this way it travels through all 12, one after another. So meaning in each sign of the zodiac, the 12, no? 12 Rashi. So it takes three weeks in each Rashi. But when it goes up and down, right? I think that's what's happening now, right? My God, just see what's going on. It almost always creates unfavorable conditions in respect to rainfall and other influences. It should be the cause of fire. It should be the cause of fire. Because this is planet Mars, meaning it's fire planet. So that's why, meaning that right now, whatever we are observing, there's so much snow, so much ice. One part is ice.
Mars is sunny.
No. Its name is given here, no? Angaraka. Mars is planet Mars. Anga. Shani is Saturn. This is Anga. Angaraka. Mars is called Angaraka. Mars. Tata uparishta dvilaksha yojanantara gata bhagavan brihaspatir ekasmin rasho parivatsaram charati yadina vakraha syat prayena nukula brahmana kulasya. So tata, that mass uparishtad above Dvilaksha Yojana Antaragataha, situated at a distance of 1,600,000 miles, 1,600,000 miles. Bhagavan, the most powerful planet, Brihaspati, Jupiter, Ekak Ekasmin, in one after another, Rashu, sign, Parivatsaram, for the period of Parivatsaraha, Charatim, Yadi, if not Vakra, curved. So again, if it's not Vakri, this situated 1,600,000 miles above Mars, or 10,400,000 miles above Earth, is the planet Jupiter, which travels through one sign of the zodiac within the period of a parivatsara. If its movement is not curved, the planet Jupiter is very favorable to the brahmanas of the universe. So this is text 16. Tata uparishta yojana laksha dvayat parit pratiyamana shaneschara ekaikasmin rasho trimsham masan vilambanmana sarvan evanuparyeti tavadbhir anuvatsare prayena hi sarvesham ashantikaraha, situated 1,600,000 miles above Jupiter, or 12 million miles above Earth, is the planet Saturn, which passes through one sign of the zodiac in 30 months. Oh, okay. And covers the entire zodiac circle in 30 Anuvatsara. This planet is always very inauspicious for the universal situation. So Venus is giving benediction, right? And Jupiter is also giving benediction, right? Everybody is causing trouble, right? Mercury is causing trouble. Mars, 100% is causing trouble. And Saturn is troublesome. So, but this Jupiter, if it goes Vakri, it creates trouble, right? Yeah. Mercury, sorry? Well, they are we are imprisoned in this world, right? We're imprisoned. These are the boundaries of our prison house. This is how they're controlling. This is karma, no? This is the karma. They are giving karma of the people of this world. So yeah, so Mercury also sometimes auspicious, sometimes inauspicious. Venus, is it ever inauspicious? Did we read about that? Venus is very favorable. Venus is favorable. So Mercury is sometimes good, sometimes bad. Mars is always bad. Saturn is bad. Jupiter sometimes favorable, sometimes not favorable. Because it's Guru, no? So it corrects. Guru is not always like, all sugar, honey, right? Guru teaches, trains, is harsh. 17. Tata uttarasma rishaya ekadasha laksha yojanantara upalabhyante ya eva lokanam sam anubhavayanto bhagavato vishnuyat paramam padam pradakshinam prakramanti. Situated 8,800,000 miles above Saturn, or 20,800,000 miles above Earth, are the 7 saintly sages who are always thinking of the well-being of the inhabitants of the universe. They circumambulate the supreme abode of Lord Vishnu known as Dhruvalok, the pole star. Srila Madhvacharya quotes the following verse from the Brahmananda Purana. Jnanam nandanamano Vishnu Shishumara Vapusyatha Urvam Lokeshu Savyapta Adityadyastat Ashrita. Lord Vishnu, who is the source of knowledge and transcendental bliss, has assumed the form of Shishumar in the seventh heaven, which is situated in the topmost level of the universe. All other planets, beginning with the sun, exist under the shelter of this Shishumar planetary system. So it looks, anyway, that video will show, right? All the planets are actually hanging on this Shishumar. Oh my God, what engineering, right? So this is Lord Brahma's creation.
So much planning.
Yeah, and we say just suddenly an explosion, everything took place, right? Nonsense science. Should we continue?
Yeah.
Okay. Text 20, chapter 23. Okay, you read.
The Shishumara planet system. This chapter describes how all the planetary system take shelter of the pole star Dhruvaloka. It also describes the totality of these planetary system to be Shishumara, another expansion of the external body of Supreme Personality of Godhead. Dhruvlok, the abode of Lord Vishnu within this universe, is situated 1300,000 yojanas from the seven stars. In the planetary system of Dhruvaloka are the planets of the fire god Indra, Prajapati, Kashyap, and Dharma, all of whom are very powerful in the powerful. Sorry, where did I go? I lost. All, all of whom are very respectful to the great devotees Dhruva, who lives on the pole star, like bulls yoked to a central pivot. All the planetary system revolve around Dhruvaloka, impelled by eternal time. Those who worship the Virata Purusha, the universal form of the Lord, conceive of this entire rotating system of planets as an animal known as Shishumara. This imaginary Shishumara is another form of the Lord. The head of Shishumara form is downward and the body appears like that of a coiled snake. On the end on the end of its tail is Dhruvaloka. On the body of the tail is Prajapati, Agni, Indra, and Dharma. And on the root of the tails are Dhata and Vidhata. On the waist are the seven great sages. The entire body of the Shishumara faces towards the right and appears like a coil of stars. On the right side of this coil are the 14 prominent stars from Abhijit to Punarvasu, and on the left side are the 14 prominent stars from Pushya to Uttarashadha. The stars known as Punarvasu and Pushya are on the right and left hips of the Shishumara, and the stars known as Ardra and Ashlesha are on the right and left feet of Shishumara. Other stars are also fixed on different sides of Shishumara planet system according to the calculation of Vedic astronomers. To concentrate their mind, yogis worship the Shishumara planet system, which is technically called known as Kundalini Chakra.
Shishumar is Kundalini Chakra. Shri Shuka Uvacha Atha Tasmat Parastad Trayodasha Laksha Yojanantara Toyattat Vishnoho Paramam Padam Abhivadanti Yatraha Mahabhagavato Dhruva Uttana Padir Agni Nendrena Prajapatina Kashyapena Dharmena Cha Samalakala Yugbhi Sabahurmanam Lakshinata Kriyamana Idanim Api Kalpajivinam Ajivya Upaste Tasyehanubhava Upavarnitaha. Shukdev Goswami said, My dear king, 1,300,000 yojanas, 10,400,000 miles above the planets of the seven sages, is the place that learned scholars describe as the abode of Vishnu. So there, the son of Maharaj Uttanapa, the great devotee Maharaj Dhruv, still resides the life source of all the living entities who live until the end of the creation. Agni, Indra, Prajapati, Kashyap, and Dharma all assemble there to offer him honor and respectful obeisances. They circumambulate him with their right sides towards him. I have already described the glorious activities of Maharaj Dhruv in the 4th canto Srimad Bhagavatam. Text 2. Sahi sarvesham jyotirgananam graha nakshatradinam animeshena vyakta ramhasa bhagavata kalena brahmyamananam sthanur ivavastambha ishvarena vihita shasvat avabhasate. Established by the supreme will of the Supreme Person Godhead, the pole star, which is the planet of Maharaj Dhruv, constantly shines at the central pivot for all the stars and planets. The unsleeping, invisible, most powerful time factor causes these luminaries to revolve around the pole star without cessation, meaning that sun is moving its own. They are giving the results according to the Supreme Lord, right? According to the direction of the Supreme Lord. It is distinctly stated herein that all the luminaries, the planets and stars revolve by the influence of the Supreme Time Factor. So Dhruva has in his power that he has placed all the luminaries under the control of Dhruva Maharaj planet and has arranged for the time factor to work under him or with his cooperation. See? Everything is actually done according to the will and direction of the Supreme Person Godhead. But to make his devotee Dhruva the most important individual within the universe, the Lord has placed the activities of time factor under his control. Now you know who's Dhruv, right? Dhruv, who is controlling time. He had stepped over death. So we hear, that our parents, devotees' parents, they go to Dhruvlok. Right? Like Suniti went to Dhruvlok. So if we are proper devotees, we are practicing properly, and if our parents are also sufficiently qualified, right? So they go to Dhruvlok. See, like progress is continuous. I mean, you don't expect that the way I am now suddenly I'll pop up, turn up in Golok Vrindavan with the Gopas and Gopis, right? You're not going to fit. Text free. Yatha medhishtambha akramana vashava samyojita stribhihi savane yatha sthanam mandalani charanchevam bhagana grahadaya itasminantarabahirtantevam ज्योतिर्गणा प्रकृति पुरुष संयोगानुगृहीता कर्मा निर्मिता गतयो भुवि न पतन्ति.
Translation by Divine Grace Prabhupada. When bulls are yoked together and tied to a central post to thresh rice, they tread around the pivot without deviating from their proper position. One bull being closest to the post, another in the middle, and third on the outside. Similarly, all the planets and all hundreds and thousands of stars revolve around the pole star and will continue to be so until the end of creation. These planets float in the air within the vast sky, just as clouds with hundreds of tons of water float in the air, or as the great Siena eagles, due to the results of past activities, fly high in the sky and have no chance of falling to the ground. Purport: according to the description of this world, the 100,000 of stars and the great planet Godhead Govinda or Krishna, and according to his order, they sit in their chariots and travel in their respective orbits. The orbit in which they move are compared to machines given by material nature to the operating deities of the stars and planets who carry out the order of Supreme Personality of Godhead. This has nothing to do with the gravity or any other imaginary laws created by the material scientists. Material scientists want to avoid the ruling government of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and therefore they imagine different conditions under which they suppose the planets move. The only condition, however, is the order of Supreme Personality of Godhead. All the various predominating deities of planets are persons, and the Supreme Personality Godhead is also a person. The Supreme Personality orders the subordinate person, the demigods of various names, to carry out his supreme will. This fact is also confirmed in Bhagavad Gita 9.10, wherein Krishna says, Maya dakshena prakriti suyate sacharacharam hetu anena kauntayo jagat viprivartate. This material nature is working under my direction, O son of Kunti, and is producing all moving and non-moving beings. By its rule, his manifestations created and annihilated again and again. The orbits of the planets resemble the bodies in which all living entities are seated because they are both machines controlled by the Supreme Personality of Godhead, as Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita 18.61. Ishvara sarvabhutanam hrideshi arjuna tishtati brahmayan sarvabhutani yantra arodan mayaye. The Supreme Lord is situated in everyone's heart, O Arjuna, and is directing the wandering of all living entities who are seated as on a machine made of the material energy. The machine given by material nature, whether the machine of the body or machine of the orbit or Kala Chakra, works according to the orders given by the Supreme Personality of Godhead. The Supreme Personality of Godhead and material nature works together to maintain this great universe. And not only this universe, but also the millions of other universes beyond this one. The question of how the planets and stars are floating is also answered in this one. It is not because of the law of gravity, rather, the planets and stars are enabled to float by manipulation of the air. It is due to such manipulation that big, heavy clouds float and big eagles fly on the sky. Modern airplanes like the 747 jet aircraft work in a similar way. By controlling the air, they float high in the sky, resisting the tendency to fall in the earth. Such adjustments of the air are all made possible by the cooperation of the principle of Purusha, male, and Prakriti, female. By the cooperation of material nature, which is considered to be Prakriti, and the Supreme Personality of Godhead is considered to be Purush. All the affairs of the universe are going on nicely in their proper order. Prakriti nature is described in Brahm Samhita 5.44 as follows: Srishti Siti Pralaya Sadhana Shakti Eka Chaya Veyash Bhuvanani Bhibarti Durga Ichhana Rupam Apiyasya Chache Statsa Govindamadi Purusham Tamham Bhajami. The external potency Maya, who is of nature of the shadow of Chit, spiritual potency, is worshipped by all people as Durga, the creating, preserving, and destroying world. I adore the primordial will. Durga conducts herself. Material nature, the external energy of the Supreme Lord, is also known as Durga, or the female energy that protects the great fort of this universe. The word Durga also means fort. This universe is just like a great fort in all the conditioned souls are kept, and they cannot leave it unless they are liberated by the mercy of Supreme Personality of Godhead. The Lord Himself describes in Bhagavad Gita 4.9, Janma karma cha me divyam evam yaveti tathvata tyakta deha punarjanma neti mameti. So Arjuna, one who knows the transcendental nature of my appearance and activity does not, upon leaving the body, takes his birth again in this material world, but attains my eternal abode, O Arjuna. Thus simply By Krishna consciousness, by the mercy of Supreme Personality of Godhead, one can be liberated, or in other words, one can be released from the great fort of the universe and go outside it to the spiritual world. It is also significant that predominating deities of even the greatest planets have been offered the exalted post because of the very valuable pious activities they performed in previous birth. This is indicated herein by words karma nirmite gataya. For example, as we have previously discussed, the moon is called Jeev, which means post, as the master of great service and pious act. Only the predominating deity of the sun, Surya Narayan, is an incarnation of Supreme Personality of Godhead. Maharaj, uh, Maharaj Dhruv, the predominating deity of Dhruvloka, is also a living entity. Thus, there are two kinds of entities: the supreme entity, the supreme personality of Godhead, and the ordinary living entity. Jiva Nitya Nityanam Chetna Chetnanam. All the demigods are engaged in the service of the Lord, and only by such an arrangement are the affairs of the universe going on. Regarding the great eagles mentioned in this verse, it is understood there are eagles so big that they can prey on big elephants. They fly so high that they can travel from one planet to another. They start flying in one planet and land in another. While in flight, they lay eggs that hatch into other birds while falling through the air. In Sanskrit, such eagles are called Syana. Under the present circumstances, of course, we cannot see such huge birds, but at least we know of eagles that can capture monkeys and then throw them down to kill and eat them. Similarly, it is understood that there are gigantic birds that can carry off elephants, kill them, and eat them. The two examples of the eagles and the cloud are sufficient to prove that the flying and floating can be made possible through the adjustments of air. The planets, in a similar way, are floating because material nature adjusts the air according to the orders of Supreme Lord. It could be said that this adjustment constitutes the law of gravity. But in any case, one must accept that these laws are made by the Supreme Personality of Godhead. The so called scientists have no control over them. The scientists can falsely, improperly declare that there is no God, but this is not a fact.
It's a huge description, right? So, this is like summarizing whatever we read, no? So Prabhupada is explaining that actually these grahas, they're chariots. Just like we have bodies, right? We have bodies and we are inside our bodies, we are driving our bodies. This is given. Ishvara Sarva Bhutanam, right? Riddeshe Juna Tishtati. So just like we have our body and we are driving our body, and the Supreme Lord is actually making us drive the body. So these grahas, actually, they are not just balls, right? They're not just ball. They actually, they have there's a jeev there, a chiefly, yeah. There is a jeev, huh, who's driving the chariot. So that's why it's moving, right? Just like we move our cars, so they are moving. So everyone, so that's why, you know, they say this problem, then you worship this, right? So who you're worshiping? You're worshiping the presiding deity of that planet. So please look at my case. This happened, that happened. Forgive me, right? This is what we are saying. But these grahas must take permission from Supreme Lord. They have no power to let us off the hook, right? Unless Supreme Lord orders. So it's a very complicated arrangement, but it's meant. Okay, we'll stop here. Okay, let's read this last one, text 4. Kichatnaitajyotiranekam shishumara samsthanena bhagavato vasudevasya yoga dharanayam anuvarnanayanti. This great machine consisting of the stars and planets resembles the form of a Shishumar dolphin in the water. It is sometimes considered an incarnation of Krishna. Vasudev. Great yogis meditate upon Vasudev in this form because it is actually visible. Oh, so we should see it, right? We should see. We should be able to see the Shishumar. Transcendentalists such as yogis whose mind cannot accommodate the form of the Lord prefer to visualize something very great, such as the Virat Purusha. Therefore, some yogis contemplate this imaginary Shishumar to be swimming in the sky the way a dolphin swims in water. They meditate upon it as the Virat Rupa, the gigantic form of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So, astronomers should be able to identify, like we don't know, right? We can't identify. We only know the sun and the moon, right? We don't know of any other planets.
Even the North Star, North Star you can see.
Yeah, all these. Venus, Jupiter, right? You just told me now all the planets are aligned. So they are visible. They are in their own constellation, right? I don't know where they are. They know their own constellation. They're aligned in one line, right? So they are visible. That's why they were saying, somebody sent a video. See the alignment, right? One, they're together. And it's creating the Mahakumbh, right? Mahakumbh means churning, right? That's the churning of the ocean, right? Mahakumbh.
No trains, no flight ticket, 50,000. At trains, all overbooked. People are standing and going for 17 hours.
Oh my God. They must be very pious. 17 hours. They are going by bus actually. They are now booking buses.
Get a ticket, no, nothing.
They are,
Bus also, that also don't get.
my God. Okay, let's just complete this. Hare Krishna. Okay.